So if you or I, for example, go into those parks when they're closed, we could be convicted of criminal trespass. I can't imagine how city forces that go into a park that's closed would be guilty of criminal trespass. So those kinds of things, if we destroy city property, obviously we're guilty of something. I can't imagine how city forces that destroy city property could be guilty of something, right? They own the property. So those kinds of implications really need to be fleshed out a lot more, because a city action is not the same as a private citizen action where you would be subject to a full range of penalties, in my view.
When we think about the consequences as well, if you're talking about the public or the activist community, people have pulled back and have some fear about engaging directly because of the 7 people that were arrested on August 21st during the demonstration at the park. And knowing that those arrests were conducted by our city's police department and sheriff's department, and that there are still 3 people who are engaged in the process who have to continue to go to court, and that our city has not chosen to dismiss those charges. Really keeps people who have, again, we are a city with who is striving to make economic gains, but people have to work. People have to feed their kids. They cannot be in jail. They cannot be paying fees. And so when we talk about getting the public support, we talk about getting people out on the social justice. If our city is going to arrest people for engaging in public action, you're not going to have, that's the consequence you're going to see, is where we're afraid to participate.
I don't think the city has ever arrested anybody for engaging in public protest. The people that were arrested for violating the law. And as the chief legal officer, I represent the city, and I would never advise one of my clients to break the law. The mayor cannot order a city employee to break the law. That's a very serious thing. He can't do that as a mayor. He can't do that as a warden. You can't order someone to break the law, and that's what it would take to take some of those actions. So from my perspective, I would never advise him to do that. When there's a process in place, when we're moving forward in the process, and I'm well aware of the MLK 50, we're well aware of the impact of having those statutes up at that time, and we've taken that in consideration, and we're following the process. And so when you are governing, you have a different responsibility than when you are not governing and you're out there as an activist. You can do whatever you want to, you can say whatever you want to, but when you're governing, you took an oath of office, you have a certain responsibility, and you have people that work for you, and you have to make decisions that are legal and ethical for the people. And that is what we've chosen to do. We've chosen to follow the process, to follow the law, the very thing that they teach you in this law school. I mean, that's why this is all constructed. If no one had to follow the law and whatever they wanted to do, they could do, we would live in a lawless society.